welcome in this final round of owaps juice shop. So there are actually a lot of a lot of vulnerabilities in this particular website. There is no way I can be able to exhaust it in a class. However, that's the reason why I provided to us this particular link here over here, so that you can be able to navigate the navigate the so sorry navigate the this thing by yourself. Okay, so this particular link over here, let me look for a better pointer. And okay, okay, so in this situation now, we want to continue from where we stopped in the other class. So in the other class we discussed the let's go on adventure. Then we also discussed the inject the juice in a previous video. Then this one is a task for who broke my lock. Okay, so this particular question number one is saying brute force the administrators ac- account password. So there's something we call brute force in cybersecurity, and this has to do with using what's it called again, this tool, trying to remember the name again, um to so sorry, trying to remember the name again, to brute force an attack on a password. Okay, so you remember what they say? You say brute force the administrator's account. So you can actually go online and check for what a brute force simply means. And then in this situation, we have used SQL injection to log into the administrator account, but we still don't know the password. So this time around now we want to use a brute force attack so that we can be able to know the password. And for us to be able to know the password of this particular stuff, you need to have this tool that is called trying to remember, how do I just forgot the name of this tool now? I mentioned it in this now. Remember it again, okay? So, but in the because our class is limited by time, and okay, a Bob suit, that's the name, a Bob suit, okay? Bob suit is a tool that we can use to send payload and forward it, and then it can be able to give us some, responses that we can keep trying, and perhaps get the answer to a password or whatsoever, that you actually wanted to work with, okay? So using Bob suit, you can actually send a payload and also neglect the use of password to log into a certain website that you are working on or something of that nature. Please, this video is for educational purposes, and it is not for the use of any malicious content or something of that nature. Okay, I have to say that because it's going on YouTube, and that is basically, and I keep missing when I'm supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say that within a minute that the video has started. Okay, so for us to be able to do this, we uh okay, so the aspect where they say we should brute force is the administrator account password, right? So you want to go back to our this thing. Remember that previously we found that the administrator's password can be found here. Okay, so can be found here. They made a mistake, and then this is the admin username, right? But we don't know the password. So we want to come to this place now and now try to log in. So they're asking us to log in, so we want to put our admin email, and then if our boot spot is on, we can be able to forward the payload and then be able to generate some response. So it's going to take quite some time, and then every response they give to you with 410 or some it simply means that it is wrong. But anyone that it gives to you with 200, that means when you try it is going to work, most likely going to work. So I've done this some times ago, and then I've done a research, and then I found out the answer is supposed to be admin 123. Okay, And I believe when I do this, it's supposed to. So let me try and do this a screenshot, and then when we log in, it is supposed to log in. So we have logged into this particular account now using this. How do we find the answer? So what do we did? Number one is what do we did, and number two, how do we found the answer? So what we did was a brute force attack, or we call a brute force attack on password. Okay, so so a brute force account or administration password, we use two tools here. Number one is the website, and number two is the Bob suite to do that. Now, the essence of this class is majorly so that you can be able to understand the concept of some of those things, and then be able to write your project on it and be able to submit it and get something. Now, the next one you have is question number two: reset James password. Okay, so there is this guy called called Gene. We actually did did this on him before. So you can go online and search for Gene Star Trek online, and you find it's actually a real person or something. So Gene Star Trek. Okay, so that's it. And then you're going to find some information about him, right? Okay, and one of the things that we want to know about this guy is also in this place. So this guy, he happens to be a customer to this shop that we are working for, or maybe we want to exploit the detail, and we want to change the information. We want to change the password of this guy because maybe this guy have paid, they have a lot of money in his balance in the in owaps this thing, and then we can just log into his account and add some stuff to the basket, add some stuff to the basket, and then do some cash out or something of that nature, right? So and then no, but the only way in which you can be able to do this is by having some of his assets. So one of the things one of the reasons for this is so that you see how that your information on Google can be exploited and used against you on any software or product or website that you are accessing. That's one of the problems in this place. So we call these eh, okay, so we want to do a forget password. Okay, forget password attack or something of that nature. So in this situation we need looks like bro, his brother's middle name is Samuel. So there is a kind of information where you'll be filling, and they will ask you for some security question, right? So in this situation, the first thing I want to do now is to find out what this guy have bought before. So this guy, what have he bought before? What have he purchased before in this particular website? So when I search now, I'm not seeing anything here. Okay, I think some I'm supposed to have a green smoothie or something of that nature here. Let me just search for green alone. I'm not seeing a response, but I'm supposed to have something showing here. Maybe this site of Hank again. Okay, then let me just check something here. This site have okay, so this website is out of service for now. I'm doing this via the website environment, and then it's out of service. It usually happens, and then it usually happens. So I think I'm going to leave it and switch to another one. However, for those who have this assignment, they can actually copy these pictures, read and understand some of those things here. So let me just explain this one verbally, since the website is not working. So this particular guy that is called James Attrell happens to be a customer that buys a lot of products from this company, and maybe he has some money in his in his wallet in in that particular product, sorry, in that particular company. And then the only thing you need is his email address, and for us to get his email address, there is a product we know he purchased some times ago, which is green smoothie. So and then he did a review of green smoothie, and green smoothie happens to he did a review and made his email known. So what you want to do is and the software made his email known rather. So what you want to do is to copy his email and then go to account, just normal login environment such as this that we used to have. The when you click on account, you're going to see login, and then you put the email address here, and then when you do that, you're going to see a forget password, environment, and then you click on it. The next thing you want to do is to write Samuel here. Why? Because it's a security question that this website used to add for someone to write the name of his brother or something. So the name of his sibling. So you just keep shaking. This one is the father, this one is the mother from the information we get, right? So if you want to check the family history of this guy now, you want to see the children, the date of birth, and the whole lot of. So this is one of the ways that internet can also expose one to all this quiz. So when you write siblings here now, it's going to bring the name of this particular siblings of this man here, and then you can be able to guess which one need to work. And then Samuel is one that worked here, as you can see. They wrote it here for you. And then the next thing you want to do is to write Samuel here, and then you write password. Your password was have capital letter and letter and then number for you to be able. So when you put the password and confirm it, it's going to click on change, and then it's going to change. Then you go back now to this particular, you know So when you go to the account environment now, what you just have to do is to click on account, put his email, and then put the new password you made. You have been able to change his password or something of that nature, right? So there are many other things, and this thing is what is explained in such a way that it is very very simple that we can do it. This other one is logging into MC Safer's account. So this guy made a video, and in the process of making a video. So you say after watching the video, there are certain parts of the song that stand out. He notes that his password is Mr. Noodles. So the process of this video, this guy made it, revealed his password, and then the password became vulnerable and people can be able to explain. So that how some people even via podcasts and the rest of that podcasts are putting people to problem, and the whole lot of things are happening as a result of what was said. People can just go online and be able to access their data. Now this other one is that there are plenty things that are in this particular play. So this other one is access the confidential document. Now, this is very, very, I wish that this site is working now. As a matter of fact, I have a way of running it in the, okay. Thanks be to God. Now, let me do let me do this one, access the confidential document, right? Let me do access the confidential document. And how we access the confidential document, this company have an about us page in this place, every an about us page in this particular environment. And then when we click on the about us page here, okay, the information, everything they wrote here are in a way in which we cannot understand it, right? However, we call it a rolling kata, but they say check out our boring terms of use if you are interested in such lame stuff. Okay, and then we click on it, and then um let me check something here. Sorry, I have to go back. Okay, I'm expecting to have a certain. Okay, let me open it in a new tab. Let me open it in a new tab. I'm expecting to have a download request. I'm expecting to have a download request of um maybe okay. So what I'm expecting to have is to have a download request that is going to make this to be readable, and normally that is how here is supposed to be. So let's go back to this thing and maybe be able to read it. You will see that there is a link. Okay, navigate to the About Us page and hover over there. Check out our terms of use. Let me go back again. Check out our terms of use. Okay, okay. I'm sure I got this. I'm sure I got. I'm sure. Sorry. I'm sure I got this. Um. Um. Sorry. Holy Spirit. Okay. Let me go back to these, and then you will see that it's linked the open the. Okay. Okay, so we are supposed to download a file in this place. This file I can't see it on here. I don't know the reason for that. I'm supposed to open up and then we down. Okay, in terms of use, no, 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 no. Okay, so having done once we click on that download function, that means we have solved this certain problem. And the implication of that, it is a legal document between the company and maybe a customer, which is not supposed to be vulnerable online, but it is vulnerable. So you can just go to this site at your own time and then play around with some of those things that are here. So this one is the scoreboard. This scoreboard gives you scores on the things you have been able to uh, problems you have been able to solve and a whole lot of stuff. So in this particular place, and all these things are problems that you can solve. The ones that are green are the ones that you can solve now. Now the reason for which we do not have you know um scores, at least for now, is because this is a new, the system just allowed me now to enter into this particular day, but we have been able to solve some of this problem in our previous classes. Okay, we have been able to solve some of the problems in our previous classes, and I do prefer you follow this pattern, able to go through everything one after the other, one after the other, and then you'll be able to um, understand the concepts of this particular word. Now, the next thing I want to show us is the one we call the same principle. So, pot swigger, you want to write pot swigger, you want to write pot swigger web security academy. Then you want to click on the first link you have in this place. And then the next thing you want to do is to log in. I think or sign up. I think I have an account here. If I don't, then I'm going to. Um, I'm supposed to have an account with you people. Okay, I'm supposed to have an account. What is the problem? I'm supposed to have an account. Okay, I don't know. Wrong email or password. Um, I think I'm supposed to have an account with them. Let me try to sign up. And the process of this signing up now, I don't really fancy it. I don't want choose your own. My own is the one I want to use. Okay, 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 okay. Maybe seems as if I've found the reason. So let me try to log in now and know if it's going to allow me to log in. I'm sure I have an account, but the password is the problem now, and maybe the email. Reset password. I don't want to go through that process. And then, but let me just show us what it can look like. And then, if there is a demand for me to make a video on that, I probably will make a video on that. So let me go to all labs. So here is a web security academy. So here are all the what's it called? Here are all the problems that our website can have, and this is how to solve them. So what you just have to do is SQL injection vulnerability is where clause allowing retrieval of hidden data. Okay, go to the lab when you click on test as a lab, and here you see the option use Bobs you to intercept modify the request that set the product category filter. So in this particular place, we are also going to see community solution. So you see this guy watch his video, see this guy watch his video, see this guy watch. Choose one of the videos here, or maybe you choose you watch all of them. Some of them might be technical, others might be little easy to do. Okay, so you if you see a technical one, you just leave it, watch another one, and then you're going to see the one that is less technical. I think this guy is on less technical, the second video or something. I'm not too sure again, but that video is going to help you to know how to solve some of these problems. Okay, so when you are done with this particular one, then you have the next one to solve. When you're done with this particular one, you have the next to solve, and then the system is going to mark it correct that you have been able to solve uh, the one. So you come back again to sorry. Um, so come back again, right? So basically, sorry, what we are supposed to come back to is the labs, all lab. Then I'm going to click on all lab, and I'm going to another one I want to solve. You click on this one as well, and then you just ask it for the answer. And then this is the security to do that even without its technicality that much or something. And then when you are also done, you go to all lab and go to this one that I say practitioner. This one is apprentice. This one is practitioner. This one is practitioner, apprentice. So apprentice is quite simpler. So and both all of them are trying to get the same, not like the same answer, but this one is a SQL injection vulnerability in where clause allowing retrieval of hidden data, and then this other one. So basically, what I wanted to introduce you to is Postwiga, another website that can help you with. Once you sign in, you're going to have a free lab where you can practice some of the things. uh, if I do this, it's going to be asking me to sign up, which I thought I have an account with them. Maybe in our next class, I'm going to do that, but um, not now. Okay, so basically, we have been able to understand a few things in this particular exposition, and since you are logged into the admin environment here, we can be able to change order, we can be able to redirect orders, we can be able to do quite a whole lot of stuff, two-factor authentication, modification, and a whole lot of stuff in this place. I just hope that this video helped to expose you. Any other thing you want to know, you can actually browse on you know on YouTube, ask question AI, and then it's going to bring out the answers to you or something. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you guys. Bye then.